Richard Lee, the executive chef from Kenichi, is here today because there's a hands-on sushi class at Silver Whisk Cooking School coming up. Thank you so much for being here, Chef.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So with sushi, where do we start? I assume with the fish.
Of course, you want to have the freshest fish available. Today I brought some Copper River salmon in from Alaska.
Okay.
So this salmon, what's so special about it is the water that it lives in is very cold and the current is strong. So the fish has to use a lot of its fat reserve, so it's very lean by the time it gets harvested, and you can only get it about 2 months out of the year.
Is that right?
So it has a beautiful, almost reddish color. And it's very highly sought after, and we try to source as much special fish as we can,
Certainly.
as well as local produce.
Okay. So we start with the fish, and where do we go from there?
Well, the dish I'm going to be making for you today is one of the specials we're running at the restaurant. Obviously, we have all our ingredients here. We have yuzu juice, which is a native citrus from Japan. We also have white soy sauce, which most people haven't seen because normally soy sauce is dark.
It's dark, right.
It's not a light soy sauce, but there's more wheat in it than normal.
Okay.
So if you're allergic,
a different flavor, a different taste?
It does have a slightly more wheat taste, I guess.
Okay.
Most people that are allergic to gluten want to stay away from that because it has a higher wheat content.
I see.
We have dashi, which is a basic Japanese fish stock. We have homemade roasted chili oil for a little heat, some Dijon mustard and toasted pine nuts and cilantro, as well as Meyer lemon oil and some pickled garlic scapes. Garlic scapes are the stems from budding garlic plant.
Okay.
And they're in season right now, and they're very good.
How does that differ from the garlic cloves?
It's not as strong.
Okay.
It's not as strong, and it has more of a slight greener flavor, and it's crunchy. So.
Okay. So I'm going to let you get to work here and show us how it's done.
All right.
How much practice does it take preparing sushi?
It depends on where you learned.
Yeah.
But I learned from a very traditional mentor in Japan, in Dallas, sorry. And it depends on how much you practice and how much you study, I guess.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut here against the grain, just a few slices.
And you mentioned that you guys tried to choose from some of the specialty fish out there. What's another example?
Right now we have some New Zealand snapper, red snapper, in, as well as a blue nose snapper in from Japan. Okay. So it's very good. It's very clean and fresh tasting, obviously.
So a lot of the fish from the Pacific.
Right, right.
Okay.
We tend to try and go for colder water fish because the flesh is firmer and, in my opinion, tastier.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to make the sauce real quick.
Okay.
Here we have our about 2 tablespoons of yuzu juice. Same amount of white soy sauce. And about 1/4 cup of dashi.
Of dashi?
Right.
So for people that haven't tried sushi before, what do you tell them? What do you tell them to start with? Because it can be an acquired taste.
Right. I would suggest trying to start with tuna or salmon. You know, they don't have a strong flavor. They are, of course, still delicious, but it's not. It's easier to come by because people tend to eat tuna fish, which is cooked, canned tuna fish, and tuna has just raw tuna. Big eye tuna is what we use at the restaurant. Has a cleaner flavor and more flavor, I think. Okay. All right. So
we've added in the sauce mixture.
Right.
You're just pouring that right over the top.
Right. It's just almost like a ceviche because there is the acid there. And then we're going to add some spice as well. Okay, we've got about 30 seconds here if we can do a rapid version. All right, it'll be done really soon.
So you're adding the red pepper, give it a little bit of kick.
A little bit of kick. Then we have the toasted pine nuts. Okay. It's going to add a very savory taste to it. A little bit of salt because salt makes everything taste better. Some olive oil here. And garnish with cilantro. And a couple of pickled garlic scapes here.
And you just eat that straight?
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Richard Lee from Kenichi, for joining us today. Once again, the kids cooking camp is going on this week at the Silver Whisk Cooking School. You can find the link to that on our website at KXAN.com just after this show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.